here with Cliff King Wrestling Club coach Andy Hrovat. Andy, you're only about 2 weeks away from the U.S. Open. So how's training been to this point? And then how does it change at all in the last 2 weeks?
Well, training's been great. We came back from overseas. We had a long overseas trip, myself and Jimmy Kennedy, and then Kellen was on the tail end of that trip. And then when we got back home, we didn't have much time, so I gave him about a week to recover and get back on his feet, get situated again. And then since then, my philosophy and what I learned overseas is you just have to be consistent in training. So what we did was we started doing training 1 a day practices, and then started incorporating other things like morning runs, where the guys get up at 7 o'clock and all they do is jog for about 15 minutes. Nothing hard, but something at 7 o'clock, which gets their metabolism going, it gets them up, it gets them moving, so they're able to perform better at the 10 o'clock practice that we have. And then we also have a practice at 4. So we're doing 3 a days right now. We've progressed to 3 a days, and we're going to continue to do 3 a days. But as we get closer to the Open, the 7 o'clock practice just becomes a morning wake up and walk. Just something to move around before you get your breakfast. And then the morning practice, afternoon practice are pretty much about the same, a little over an hour. And the guys are responding to it really well. And this is pretty much the first real training camp that we've been able to have where we've had this full 3 a day schedule, and right now I think it's going great.
Do you think it really helps them kind of dial in a little bit when really their whole day revolves around these 3 workouts?
Oh, absolutely, and that's why when the U.S. national team or any other foreign national team gets ready for a big competition, they're at training camp, and a lot of times you're in dorms and your meals are regulated and everything is given to you and your time's counted every second of the day. But here they're a little more relaxed. They're able to go home. But yeah, I mean it's perfect. I love having it like this, and I think they're definitely focused and ready to go. And we're 2 weeks out, and by the Open I'm gonna have to hold them back and be like, hey, it's not your time yet. Wait, wait a day, wait 2 days. You'll get your chance.
All right, we've only got 2 guys preparing for the U.S. Open. Kellen, Massey, a couple more guys who are still looking ahead for the trials. But how have you seen those 2 guys progress over the last maybe several months since 2013?
Well, it's been great. I have a small group of guys that I'm able to work with here, and I get to travel with them a lot as well. Like I said, with the U.S. national team. But Kellen, he's a great talent, and he's won at every level. And to see him come here and freestyle, he's taken his lumps this year, but every time he comes back and he learns something. And when he comes back, he's able to apply that, and he's been getting better and better and better. And I could see it in practice. And right now I told him the other day that I believe right now he's on track, and he's on pace to be right there for the Open. To be able to win it. He's as good as anybody. But for him, it's just the confidence, knowing that it doesn't matter if it's your first year in freestyle. He's taken his lumps this year already, so he's ready to win, and technically he's done all the right things. He's put himself in the right positions to be able to win freestyle matches. And then Kyle Massey, same thing. He hasn't competed in a while, and he started training again this year, and he's given it his all, and I could see improvements from him that's unbelievable. And he's keeping his wrestling simple, but he's doing everything he's good at. And I keep telling these guys, you don't have to learn anything fancy for freestyle. Just do what you're good at. And he's really good. He's got his underhooks and his front headlocks, and he's gonna surprise some people at the Open.
And are you enjoying working with these 2 guys who still are they're young in freestyle and have a lot to learn in freestyle? So you're working with them quite a bit. Are you enjoying that? Oh,
I love it. And right now, it's tough. I spend, I'm working like 12, 13-hour days. I have to work for Cliff King. I have to, coach 3 a day practices, and then obviously I'm helping, with some of the behind the scene things with, keeping Olympic wrestling, and so. But I love it. If I could spend all day in the wrestling room, I could, and obviously do some other tasks here and there. But it's awesome, and they're great to work with.
All right, and then I want to touch on Jimmy too, who's not wrestling the U.S. Open, but will be wrestling the trials. He's had a really good, terrific year, breakthrough year. Just recently took silver at Medved. How have you seen him progress over the last 6 months?
Well, it's for him. It's confidence. You know, he's always had the ability, and he's always been good. But you know, until you finally start winning, and on the international scene, you don't get that confidence. But then once you win and you know you beat someone good, you're like, you know, these people aren't that good. They're you know, I've made it this far. I'm as good as they are. You know, and for Jimmy, he's fast, he's strong, and now he's getting people to fear him. And in wrestling, that's a big thing. You know, you could see it in Jordan Burroughs. You know, these foreign athletes are going out there and they already fear him, and you know they have zero chance of winning already mentally. And you know, and that's a lot of people are doing that with Jimmy. You know, they don't know how they could handle his speed, his strength, you know, and all his moves. I mean, he's got attacks from everywhere. So he's really progressing, and he's hungry, and he wants to win, and you know, I think he's going to do it. And you know, I keep telling him, you know, I made 2 teams. It doesn't matter if you win the Open or not. I never won the Open, but you know, I was able to peak at the right time, and you know, I think I could get Jimmy to do the same thing, and you know, he'll be ready for the trials. And you know, once it becomes that day, it's you know, you have to have a will, and you know, it's the best guy is going to win all the time. So I'm ready for that.
And you think some of his success is good for these other guys to see?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, they live together, they train together, they spend all their time together. You know, and with Jimmy's success, you know, he didn't have the success last year, and he was in the same situation as Kellen is. Yeah. And you know, and for Kellen to able to see Jimmy and how he, you know, was able to gain that success after, you know, having failures, you know, at the Olympic trials. I don't even know if he won a match. And you know, then he comes and he places 3rd at the toughest tournament in the world in Chechnya. You know, so there, it doesn't, you know, there's no science or there's no knowledge of when that, you know, you're going to be able to turn the corner. So, you know, Jimmy did it himself, and you know, now he's going to be able to help Kellen and help Kyle, you know, turn that corner and you know, and show them maybe something that they're not seeing that is going to help them out, you know, tremendously.
All right, and one more question. We have a handful of guys on the Michigan team, particularly some of those freshmen that have, you know, a lot of freestyle success, and a lot of incoming freshmen who've had a lot of freestyle success. So are you excited to get some of these guys in the room and really start working some of, you know, the freestyle technique with them?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. You know, I've seen, you know, I saw the Dapper Dan with Ben Whitford, and you know, I've seen Adam Kuhn, and you know, and you look at some of these guys, and you're like, you know, they're really, really good, and you know, and now, you know, Michigan, we're recruiting athletes who want to do freestyle and who want to, you know, commit to wrestling and make it, you know, full-time, year-long, you know, endeavor. You know, and it doesn't have to be hard. You know, when I started coaching these guys freestyle, I mean, my practices are relaxed. You know, my structure's relaxed. I don't keep my thumb on them a lot, but you know, I do guide them, and I'm ready. You know, those guys have been great freestyle talents for the U.S. and you know, that's why I chose to be in freestyle, so I could, you know, help at this regional training center level and then help at the national level to make the U.S. team better. And you know, these guys are going to have impact real quickly with the field of juniors and then on the senior level.
Yeah, and obviously you're a big proponent of you know, these guys should be wrestling freestyle during the summer, and that's going to pay back to their folk style career. Yes?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, freestyle teaches you so much, and you know, when people look at it and they think it's 2 different sports, and you know, that's kind of one of the problems we're in right now anyways, with, you know, wrestling being taken out of the Olympics. Sometimes the American fans, they just don't see it as being the same sport, but a single leg takedown is a single leg takedown, and I've said that a million times. You know, so if you're getting better at a single leg takedown in the summer doing freestyle, your single leg in collegiate is going to be better. And I mean, there's no. I mean, really, that's all I can say.
All right, Andy, thank you.
Yeah.